What's up, everyone? We are back with another fun episode today. I am joined with my good friend here, Blaine Miller. We have a fun idea. We're going to do an NFL mock draft. Since March Madness is coming to an end, we are going to shift gears and do a different video today. We're going to do a mock draft. Blaine, happy to have you on.
Yeah, man, I'm ready to see who the Titans pick, but what the rest of the NFL shakes out after the draft too.
Yeah, so I think the way to go for us, Blaine, is to alternate picks.
Mm-hmm.
So you're obviously a Titans fan, so I think we should let you do, I guess, the even numbers, and I'll do odd.
Yep.
Is that the way to do it, or do you want to work together
Yeah.
on it?
That sounds good.
So we are going to add this draft board on here, and I guess we're going to just dive right in. Since I am odd, I guess I'll go first. I'm not going to overthink things. I'm going to go Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, it's a good pick. He's going to be the best quarterback in the draft. Obviously, Dante Moore sitting out. Then Arvell Reese for it too as well.
Yeah, I think these two are pretty straightforward, and then after that, it gets a little fun.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can zoom out a little bit here. Yeah, there we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Perfect. So with the Cardinals here, they have a lot of different needs. I think they're going to go offensive line here. I think they're going to go Francis Malienoga. They have a lot of needs. Like I said, they in a class they obviously need quarterback, but there's not a quarterback there. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a pick that gets traded down, but we're gonna not do trades. But if there was to be a pick traded in this top part, I think this is the one here.
Yeah, and then you come to the Titans, and being a Titans fan, you look at Jeremiah Love, and it's like he seems to be maybe the guy they're going to pick. But then you look at the contract. That fourth pick is going to get $48 million on a 4-year deal, about $12 million a year. So you kind of look at the other running backs that are getting about that. You're looking at Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara. Is Jeremiah Love to that level? He may be. He may come in and make that quite of an impact right away. But then when you go look at the edge rushers, and that's a need for the Titans. I mean, you have to go way down the list until you get to edge rushers that are making $12 million. And so I think it's going to come down to Ruben Bain and David Bailey. I think they're going to pair Ruben Bain back up, keep the Miami guys together. Cam Ward getting Ruben Bain, and it's kind of been talking about that. So I think Ruben Bain will go to the Titans.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's definitely a position of need thing. Like you look at what the Raiders did last year. Jeremiah Love is obviously a hot topic in the drafting world, but you look at you see what they did in Vegas with Genty, and you can't really have the star running back without having a team around him. I think the Titans they're not ready for that yet. I don't think. I think the running back room is fine for what it is. Obviously, I'm sure Cam Ward would love to have Jeremiah Love on offense with him, but sometimes there's just other needs where you don't necessarily need them.
Yeah, better to have an offensive line for that running back to run behind than to get the running back and he can't run anywhere. So,
right, I think I'm gonna let Jeremiah Love continue to fall here.
Yep.
I like Sonny Styles. He's like that generational running linebacker, product type of thing. You could probably go wide receiver here. I just don't really know if Cardinal Tate's the guy there. Look at what Jim Harbaugh has done with linebackers, and at his time in Baltimore, he's always had that guy. Sonny Styles pick allows him to get that.
Yeah.
If you were picking here, what would you have gone with?
For the Giants there,
yeah,
I would have gone the same. They have a lot of different needs, like defensively as well. So I mean, you can go like Caleb Downs even, or the defensive line, they don't really need that. But as far as like any secondary or linebacker type of need for them, or wide receiver and pair somebody up with a Malik Neighbors coming off an injury. So, but yeah, I don't think Jeremiah Love, just because they drafted Scatabo last year. Obviously not as high of a prospect Jeremiah Love, but a guy, and they can kind of pair him with somebody else, and they can form a running room for the next couple of years. So,
and they have Tyrone Tracy, who's been fine.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how far Jeremiah does slide, because I mean, like I said, we're not going to do trades, but any of these could be trades, right? And I could see anybody
Yeah,
coming up to get Jeremiah Love. So just
yeah,
because he's spotted on our board doesn't mean he actually will. It's just if we're going with no trades. And I think last year, and I could be wrong, but I feel like last year there was tons of trades.
yeah. There were some big trades that happened and took place. And I mean, even this season, like the Titans are a team that could say they do want to take Jeremiah Love. They want to trade back and don't think he's going to go until pick 7 or 8. Maybe they trade back, get him at 7 or 8, and have another pick in the late first round or early second round or something like that. So the trading will be interesting for sure. Looking at the Browns there, though, I do think they're going to need some type of receiver help, and I don't think there's a better receiver in the draft than Carnell Tate out of Ohio State. So, look at the Browns receiving room, and the quarterback room is what it is, but and then you look to see at that receiving room as well, and it's not great, and so they need some help there, and it looks like they'll probably get it with him.
Yeah, they're keeping the Ohio State guy local, I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna let Jeremiah Love continue to slide. Actually, here I could see him going here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take Jeremiah Love. I'll
yeah,
take Jeremiah Love here. I almost took David Bailey. They definitely
yeah,
need pass rush, but I don't think he falls much further than this. I'm gonna go Jeremiah Love.
yeah.
They
Yeah, the
obviously
Saints. I do
really
think the Saints will take David Bailey there. He's
yeah.
a good prospect. One that even you could flip it, and Reuben Bain could be at this pick, and David Bailey could be up there with the Titans pick. It just depends on that.
You kind of alluded to it earlier with Jeremiah Love and the Titans with the money situation.
Yeah,
And the Titans, they have decent running backs. They're not obviously not all pros or anything, but it's enough. But you look at Washington with Jeremiah Love, and they don't have a running back really at all.
yeah,
Um, so I think that's where Jeremiah Love goes there. And David Bailey, if Jeremiah Love doesn't go here, I could see him. If Bailey's gone, I could see
yeah,
him being here.
yeah. If he
With
doesn't
the
get past Washington, it'll be interesting to see how far Love falls because the Saints probably aren't taking him. With the contract and everything, that it would be so high and paying Alvin Kamara about the same amount at that point. And then you get down to the Chiefs. Well, they just signed Seattle's Super Bowl. Yeah, Seattle Super Bowl MVP. So they're probably not taking him there. So then, how far does?
I mean, do the Bengals need a running back? Probably not. The
Yeah, they're
Dolphins
not taking him.
definitely don't. The
Dolphins
Cowboys
don't.
just paid.
Cowboys, yeah, they just paid for a running back. So
I wonder how big that contract was. Guess I should have looked, but
it was a pretty big one. It was one to where you're probably not going to take Jeremiah Love if he's there at that point.
that's definitely a Jerry type of pick, though. Is the only thing.
Yeah,
With the Chiefs on the clock, they traded their corner away. They went to L.A. They definitely need a corner. I'm gonna go Mansour Delane. He's a super, long corner.
yeah,
I'm trying to see how tall he is. I can't remember. I think he's like 6'4", 6'3". He's got the tools to definitely be really good
yeah,
at the next level.
yeah. Here, I mean, the Bengals need a lot of work, whether it be defensively. They could use a little bit of help offensive line as well. So I do actually think that they're going to take Spencer for now here, and that'll help maybe give Joe Burrow a little bit more protection. But I could see them taking some defensive guy there as well if they need it. But depends on who falls to them.
So one thing I love doing is mock drafts. I love drafting people, whether it be, this type of draft, the NBA. It doesn't matter. I love doing mock drafts, and all of my mocks I've done, Caleb Downs has not fallen this far.
Yeah.
I think he's a player that if he gets to this point, someone's trading up to get him.
Mm-hmm.
But the Dolphins, they lost Minka Fitzpatrick. They needed help in that back end. Now, if he's there, I think they run this pick in and take Caleb Downs.
Yep. As I get to the Cowboys pick here, and you're kind of looking at some different options. And so you look at the names on the board. Dylan Thieneman, great safety out of Oregon. Cowboys have some good secondary players. Got rid of some recently as well, so you could go there. They don't really need a tight end. They got Ferguson. He's a good tight end, so they're probably not taking Kenyon Sadiq. And
They
then
have
you look decent tackles, and then you look at wide receiver. They're probably not going Mekhi Lemon. as well. And so I'm gonna have them going out here, getting a linebacker in C.J. Allen, and then that'll help the Cowboys defense. They'll get a guy on a little bit less of a contract. They won't have to go out and pay quite as much, even though first round is a big contract. But you look at the 4 years, uh, so that'll help the Cowboys, give them somebody they can really work in to their defense going forward.
I think with LA here, this is the first time you've really seen them have a first round pick in a very, very long time, to be honest with you. And it wouldn't shock me if they did trade it again. But at this point, LA obviously they're Super Bowl contenders. Their Super Bowl window is closing very fast. As soon as
Yep.
Stafford leaves, it's probably over for them for at least a little while. I think they just shore up the offense even more. I think they either go Kenyon Sadiq or they go Mekhi Lemon. I don't think you can necessarily go wrong with either one of them, but I'm going to take Kenyon Sadiq. I think they love their tight ends. I don't
Yep.
think it's definitely a position of need, but I think Kenyon Sadiq's play style, they can make it work. Um, and
And
honestly, I mean, him in the little short game, the slots, and like the quick screens, he would be fun to watch here.
yeah, he's one of the. I mean, he'll be one of the best tight ends in the NFL. I think as soon as he's drafted, and if they do take him, they'll be pairing him up with another Oregon tight end that they took last season. So that'll be interesting. So I guess we get down here to the Ravens, and actually, if Sadiq would have fallen one more, I would have had Kenyon Sadiq going to the Baltimore Ravens. You know,
Yeah,
I think that would have been a really good pick for them.
is that
But
Isaiah
if
replacement?
Yeah, with Isaiah likely being gone. But I think the Ravens, they could really use another receiver weapon. And so if Mekhi Lemon's there on the board at this point, I think the Ravens would be good to take him here. He's a great receiver. I watched him Oregon USC. I mean, and Mekhi Lemon, he's just an elite talent. And so I do think that if he's on the board and the Ravens got the pick, they'll take him there.
Seemed like you were a little surprised at me taking Sadiq. Do you think it would have been Lemon and Sadiq? Would you have flipped those two if you were picking it by yourself?
Maybe so. I do think that the Rams getting getting another receiver would probably be good for them. And Mekhi Lemon being that great, and then I mean, they do have a couple tight ends, especially they drafted one last year. And Terrence Ferguson that from Oregon, another good one. So that he could come up, and so yeah, maybe if those got flipped, but I still think Kenyon
So if
Sadiq
you
is
were the
such a good
Rams,
tight end.
if you were the Rams there, what would you have taken?
Yeah, I mean on the board, you kind of are looking at would they go offensive line? Would they maybe get a little more help there offensive line wise? But or receiver. I mean, I think that was probably the two best guys on the board. Honestly, for them would be Kenyon Sadiq. I mean, he's such a good and people talk about his block. Like they say he can't block. The guy can block. Go look at the film. He's a great blocker, and he is one of the best route runners and catching the ball. I mean, tight end wise, he's elite. Speed, he's got it. So he's an elite prospect.
I think if I'm Tampa Bay here, I would have liked to have Kenyon Sadiq fall.
Yeah,
I would like to have C.J. Allen fall. Those are the two guys that I've really been thinking that's where they're going to go here. I think Tampa Bay goes for pass rush. I think they stay in Florida and they go Hakeem Mesidor. He's
Hmm.
a little bit of an older guy. I don't think they're really that worried about age. Tampa Bay's been a team that they don't mind the age a little bit more as much as other teams.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Hakeem Mesidor.
yeah. So now we get to the Jets here, and where do they not need help? Honestly, they could use help anywhere. But I think they're going to go with a fun pick here. I think they're going to go with a wide receiver in Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. He's a good player. He's a guy that, if the picks came right and the Titans could somehow trade back and they could get pick eighth in the draft or something and somehow be able to be around at this pick when you could pick a Jordan Tyson type of guy, I'd like to see him do it. But I think he's good. I think he'll go to the Jets there if he's on the board at that point.
If everyone's healthy, if you're just drafting purely off of that, Jordan Tyson's probably going, way up here. Honestly, I mean, I could see him going anywhere in here. If you have no injury concerns, I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans took him here. To be honest with you, but
Yeah, he's a
um,
really good pick.
He's really, really good. My Lions are on the clock. They have some needs. They need corners. I think they need offensive line. I'm
Hmm.
surprised Iwane's here, but I'm taking Monroe Freeling here. I think
Yep.
the Lions need to shore up their offensive line, have their Taylor Decker replacement. I'm going Monroe Freeling, and I think if he is there, that's one that you don't really think twice about. You run the card in as soon as it's available to be honest with you.
Yeah. Move on to the Vikings here. I think they're going to take Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon. He's a guy. I mean, Thieneman's a guy. He's very smart defensive player. You look back at that Penn State game, making an interception, overtime, or big play, double overtime to take out Penn State at home. And Thieneman is a guy that's fast. He's smart. He plays tough. He hits hard. He'll come down. I think he'll be a guy that'll be a good replacement in that secondary for the Vikings. He'll be got to step in and start quickly and play well.
Yeah, Vikings have Harrison Smith, the old head there, and yeah, I could see that for sure. Moving on down, I guess I'm on the clock here with Carolina. I think I'm going to take Keldrick Falk. I think they need pass rush. It's interesting to see Avigi Iwane keep falling. I know I said that with the Lions pick, but he's a guy that I mean, in a lot of minds, I'm taking him, up in this range. But yeah, Keldrick Falk, he's a great pass rusher, edge rusher from Auburn. I think he fits in perfectly with that Carolina defensive line.
Yes, we come back around to the Cowboys here, and
Let's see how we took with Cowboys. We got C.J. Allen.
yeah, and I could see them maybe even going. Thieneman's so good. Maybe if they want to get another secondary guy, they could have taken him there. I think they're going to work on the defense for a lot of this draft. So I think they're going to go Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo, get a safety.
Yeah, I like that. Another one that I'm surprised has fallen, and I think if we had the draft last year, and again, if everyone's healthy with no injury concerns, Jermon McCoy, he was the best corner in football last year, and to
Yep.
see a guy of that talent still here, I'm not going to take him. I'm going to go offensive line. I think the Steelers really need offensive line, but that's one I definitely. If he was here, people would do it. They'd be trading up. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. All right, so now we're down to the Chargers pick. The Chargers need a little bit of work, offensive line wise. They need a little bit of work on the defense as well. So I could see the Chargers taking a guy like Blake Miller, Cassius Howe. So I'm gonna have them taking, and then Caden Proctor as well. He's also there. So I think they could take either one of those three. But let's have Caden Proctor go into the Chargers here.
I think
He's
he's
a
a
guy
guy.
I've been looking at that's going a little bit earlier even than that. So to have him fall this late, I think it'd be a good pick for them.
Yeah, someone of that size. I wish they had. Yeah, here he is, 6'7", 366 pounds. I mean, it's a big old boy. They can move him. I know he has a little bit of concerns with him, like at tackle. I think they can move him to the guard where they have a position of need, and I think he would fit
Yeah.
in just fine. They definitely
Yeah.
don't need tackles in LA, but he's definitely a guy I could
Yeah, I
see
think they
there.
can move around. And they already have Alt over there. I mean, another elite offensive lineman. So to kind of stack that offensive line, because they did have a lot of injuries and troubles with it last season and showed in the playoffs. And so
Yeah,
they
Rashawn
can
Slater as
clear that
well.
up. Yeah.
I know this is my pick here. I'm curious, what have you been hearing about AJ Brown?
It seems like he's going to get. I mean, it looks like Patriots are in talks for him. Some other teams may be in talks for him. The Titans are not in talks for him. They ruined really an entire draft and a couple seasons on losing A.J. Brown and the trade that they made for Treylon Burks. As sad as that is to hear and say. But so for the Eagles here, I think they'd go.
Here's what I'm thinking. I think this is a time where they trade AJ Brown around draft day to get more
Yeah.
picks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick this pretending that AJ is gone. Now, if AJ is there, I think they go secondary. I think they go probably Jamon McCoy. Eagles are a team that that like to pick best player available.
Yeah.
But if AJ Brown is gone, they'll need more wide receiver help. And I think they go on Omar Cooper Jr., the wide receiver out of Indiana. He can run routes really well. He's got great hands. I think he'll fit in great with Devonta Smith.
Yeah, he's a guy that doesn't. I mean, he catches the ball. He doesn't always get the best separation or whatever, but if it's thrown his way, it just seems like he's going to catch the thing. Had a lot of time watching him destroy the Oregon secondary. So, all right. Well, we move on
Let's see
down
who.
to the Browns' next pick right here.
Yep, they picked Carnell with their last pick.
Yeah, pick Carnell Tate. The Browns need a lot of help wherever they can find it. So I actually have them going Jamal McCoy, Tennessee. I think they'll go there. Get a little help defensively, but I mean they need help in a lot of ways. The Browns do so.
You know what's interesting? This was technically Jacksonville's pick, right? I wonder. I wonder. In hindsight, for Jacksonville to trade up the way they did last year with
Yeah,
that pick, um, to take Travis Hunter at 2, who they're looking more and more like they're going to make him, a full time corner, maybe less of a receiver. And I mean, at the time, I didn't have a problem with the pick, right? You save the money. You have a guy playing both ways. You don't have to pay it. You know what I mean? Like it's a smart decision then, if it works. But
yeah,
it's looking less and less like it's going to work.
yeah. And I
Yeah,
think if you saw I mean, watching him at college, like I mean, he looked good in college, but there were some games when he was getting the cornerback position, going up against Alec Alexander from Stanford, he was getting destroyed all game long. He had some other games where he was getting killed, and then he had some games where he looked good. I think that Jaguars and the young head coach that they bought into the hype with him when they probably shouldn't have, because I think it's going to cost them now. Where you do have some really talented players on both sides of the ball, to where he's just he's a talented guy, but he's not. Would you rather have Travis Hunter or Jordan Tyson at wide receiver?
yeah, yeah. Jordan Tyson.
Would you rather have Travis Hunter or some of these other guys at cornerback? So he's a good. He looked good in college. It was fun while it lasted, but I think overall it wasn't a great pick for their organization.
Yeah, especially when you see the team with your pick take a corner that is so talented, and if he does work, and I guess now Travis Hunter's hurt as well, so they're both got injury concerns. If McCoy does work, it's going to feel even worse seeing
Yeah.
him go there. So the Bears are on the clock. I'm really familiar with the Bears in that division and whatnot, and what they need. They definitely need a center. Their center retired, but there's really not um, a center there, really. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be
Yeah, there's
reaching.
some good looks there later in the draft, but yeah.
Um, safeties, that'd be nice too. There's not one there. So I think they go with interior line. Let's see what the interior line looks like, or interior D line, I should say. K McDonald's, honestly, all 3, even 4 of these guys are great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, even 4. But Caden McDonald is the one I'm looking at. He stays in that area. Caleb Banks isn't a bad one. Peter Woods has the ceiling, but I like Caden McDonald just a little bit more.
Yeah, it'd be a good pick for the Bears. Yeah, so you get down to the Bills here, and they've made some moves recently. If Omar Cooper was here with the Bills, I probably would have taken
Yeah.
him there. But looking at the draft board here, man, for the Bills, I kind of like them adding another weapon, and Denzel Boston. He is a really good receiver. I've watched him play at Washington this year. I watched him multiple times in their games and stuff, and he's a good receiver. I don't know if he's going to come in and have first round impact like that. I mean, right away. But then I think with the way the Bills rest of their team is, I think that's what the biggest need probably is to get another weapon.
Yeah, and especially, they made the switch. They hired Joe Brady, the offensive guy. He's going to want more offensive guys. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it works. I think you're right. I think they go receiver there. The 49ers, they obviously need receiver as well. They need a lot of stuff. Cassius Howell, I like that, but I think they go down the board a little bit. I think they get Casey Concepcion I think Ricky Pearsall, did Jawan Jennings stay or did he leave?
Yeah, he's there for now, but he's a guy that could be moved.
With Ricky Pearsall, like can't stay on the field. Kittle's getting old. I think you have to go back to the well and get a receiver there.
Yeah, the Texans pick here.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the Texans they kind of need offensive line. Um, as much as I'd like this guy to fall, I think Blake Miller won't fall all the way down to the Titans again. If he did, I think they would take him, but I think the Texans are going to snipe him there and hurt their division rival a little bit.
Back on the clock with the Chiefs. I picked them earlier. I picked them with a corner. So they obviously won't go corner again. They need pass rush. I think they'll either go with one of these two. I like Cassius Howe.
Yeah.
And then with the Dolphins, they drafted Caleb Downs earlier.
Yeah, so the Dolphins, you can look at a couple different options. Can we look at the receivers again here? That are so yeah. So you have some of these receivers, and you look and you think, okay, are these guys worthy of first round pick? It's kind of hard to
He's come
know.
off an injury.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Chris Bell. Yeah.
He tore his ACL, so
Jeremy
I don't think
Bernard.
he goes first round. I just don't see it there, but
I don't think he goes first round either. So for the Dolphins, as much as they do need a receiver, I mean, with the trade of um,
Waddle.
Waddle and Tyreek Hill's getting old, so they definitely need a receiver as a weapon. So maybe they're a team that would trade up. You know, if Conception's looking like, oh, he may be getting close to being picked, or some of these other guys, maybe they would trade up to get like a Denzel Boston or something. Um, but for the Dolphins here, let's go back to the defensive side of things. I think that they will take Avion Terrell there from Clemson.
Yeah. They need help in so many different places, and teams like that are tough to pick for because they could go any direction, and you wouldn't really be surprised about any of them. So
Yeah, I just think they need a lot of help receiver wise. I think that receiver room is going to be one of the weakest in the NFL.
yeah, I mean you're absolutely right. Just I think they're one of those teams where they just have to bite the bullet for a little bit with the two contracts and kind of get through it. To be honest
Yeah,
with you, Patriots on the clock. They're a team that they could go a different way. They don't have that many holes, is the thing. Um, I could see them going with a tackle. I don't know if they love Will Campbell. I don't think you can go back to tackle since you took one so early last year.
yeah,
Um, I guess I'm gonna go pass rush and go a little, I guess a lazy pick. TJ Parker, a guy that had I mean, they loved him uh, at last year's draft, and then he kind of had a bad year. If the talent hits, they have a steal there, I think.
yeah, yeah. So then you go to the look at the Seahawks here. They've got a lot of good, obviously, really really solid football team. Um, I think they are a team though that could pick defensively, and then there's a couple defensive guys here that I think they could go. But I do like the go back down there to the edge rushers here, and then we'll see. I just want to kind of look at some of those names that are there on the edge.
So this is all
Uh,
D line.
yeah, so that's the whole D line there. So you have Zion Young, Mason Thomas. So a couple really good guys. Malachi Lawrence is a guy that if the Titans don't take edge first round, maybe they do go Jeremiah Love second round. I think they'll take. I think he'll be there. But I think Zion Young is going to be gone here to the Seahawks
Yeah, I
on
have
the
to.
edge. That'll be a good position to fill for them, and just stack into it to a great football team that they already have.
So we're gonna move on to the second round. The Jets again. It's a team that just needs so many different things. They got linebacker. They got wide receiver. They really could go any direction here, but I think they go Colton Hood, the corner out of Tennessee.
Oh, see, with the Jets, they were a team that I'm thinking, okay, are they gonna take quarterback?
I thought about it. It crossed my mind.
Yeah.
If they went quarterback, probably Ty Simpson's the guy here.
Yep.
Um,
Well, we can just stay on quarterbacks because I do think Cardinals are going to be looking for their future quarterback, and so I think they'll go Ty Simpson if he's there.
I think the Jets are a team, and I thought about it earlier. Whenever you're talking about this one, I was thinking about the next one here, and I thought about it, and I just thought, they're not going to be very good next year. I think they know that. I think they're just going to
Yes.
keep stacking their guys and then just be ready for the next season.
Yep.
It's going to be a rough year for the Jets. Regardless, if they had Ty Simpson, it's going to be bad either way. I mean, it doesn't
Yep.
really matter. So that's where I thought that. But yeah, Ty Simpson, he would do great there in Arizona with the weapons they have.
Mhm.
McBride, Harrison, uh, dropping the ball on the guy that did so well at the end of the season last year.
Well, and they signed back a couple of running back weapons too. So you have James Conner coming back as well. So I mean, they have a couple of guys that could play. I mean, that could be good talents for Ty Simpson to come in if he's
And
gonna.
Simpson's not a guy. If he goes to Arizona, he doesn't have to play this year either. He can learn a little bit.
He could
That
sit.
would probably be best case scenario for him instead of getting thrown into the fire.
Yep.
Um, I'll tell you what. You take this pick, and I'll take the next one.
For the
Actually,
Titans here,
so
yeah,
that
for
way.
the Titans, they desperately need some inside help on the offensive line. They've got to get. So I think they'll go Emmanuel Pranon here if he's there. Being a Duck fan myself, loving the Oregon Ducks, watching him. I mean, he's a really good prospect. He's a really good player. I think whoever gets him will be lucky to have him. And he's a guy that at guard, but the way the offensive line for the Titans is, maybe they could try him out. Move him around a little bit is what I'm saying. They could move him around if they needed to. The center position is still a big need there for the Titans. And the Titans may wait till next year when Poncho comes out of Oregon next year as a center, and because he was a guy that was really projected to be probably a first or second round center this year in the draft, chose to stay at Oregon, and as Dante Moore did, and so now we're going to see, will that pay off? But then he'll be able to come back in and next year's draft be good.
So I guess I'll take this one. We can get back on track this way. I guess I'll switch to even. You want to do that, or do you want to do this pick as well?
Oh yeah, we can switch off here. We can mix it up a little bit.
I'm gonna go with the Arizona State tackle to pair with Fernando Mendoza. Get his tackle of the future.
Yep, very good. And so then you get down to the Giants. I think they're a team that, if we look at the receivers that are open here, they're a team that might be a little more tempted now to take a Chris Bell or a Jeremy Bernard, even a Chris Brazel. I think that may be a little too far of a shot, but I think they may. If Chris Bell, let's say, worked out, then I think they may be able to guy that could take him.
Let's see. So the Texans on the clock. They went offensive line last time. I think they go interior line. I think they go Caleb Banks here.
Yeah. Yeah, we're back to the Browns again. They're a team that, of course, could use some offensive help. There's not a lot of great offensive linemen outside of Caleb Lomu right there at tackle, and they're a team that could use a tackle. So I think they'll take him there.
Yeah, I
We get to
figured.
the Chiefs here.
So this is my third pick for the Chiefs today. Um, I, gosh, this feels wide open, honestly, for them here.
Yeah, a lot of good options. I mean, the
I'm
Chiefs
thinking
have.
Jeremy Bernard.
That'd be a good pick to what is going to happen with Rashee Rice and
I don't know if that really answers too many questions. Um, I think they'll go with their Chris Jones replacement here. I'm gonna go back to the interior line. I'm gonna take Peter Woods. It's not definitely a position of need right now.
yeah,
They're getting old, planning for the future. Peter Woods
yeah,
has the talent, and if he's there, it's hard to skip on him again. He's fallen really far. If you did a
yeah.
mock draft, I guess probably 8-9 months ago, Peter Woods is the guy going probably top 5, top 10. So
He's good. Then we look at the Bengals here. Man, they could really get a really good cornerback here in Brandon Cisse or D'Angelo Pons. Let's go SEC here. Let's say they take Cisse, South Carolina. But D'Angelo Pons is a guy that is really good down there in Indiana. So I can see him taking one of those guys.
I like picking, I like so if I was my pick there, I would have gone with D'Angelo Pons just because, you
Good.
gotta think these guys, it's regionally, they're probably more familiar with each other's, scouts and whatnot. So
Yep.
with the Saints on the clock, they got edged Evan Bailey here before. I could see them going receiver here. What do we have? This is where the Jeremy Bernard pick goes. I wonder where he's from because I would not be surprised if he's from that area. Honestly, I don't know if he'll tell me, but
That
yeah,
is something in there. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good pick there, Saints wise.
and
Then we go
it's
down to
nice for the Dolphins. They would have probably loved to have him there too.
the Dolphins definitely. So who's the Dolphins pick so far? Just to kind of give a little recap
So they've
of
gone secondary.
secondary and secondary, right? So you got to think they're going to go offense here. So let's look at the tight ends real quick, if we could. Can we
So we got
get?
Eli Souders coming up.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to show here is that there's not a lot of options at tight end outside of Eli Stowers left. Kenyon Sadiq's gone. That's the next best tight end option. So I think that's who they'll pick there.
They're going to have something to help them there.
Yeah, you got to have somebody to throw the ball to. He's going to be a guy that is good.
The Jets are back on the clock. If we're looking back at it, it's like a recap of the draft, and you see this right here, I think you're probably thrilled with what you've had so far. They've kind of hit on a lot of different needs. I could see them going edge, even though they got Arvell Reese. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the edge. Or actually, no, they got rid of Quentin Williams. I'm gonna go interior line again. I feel like I've done it a lot the last little while, but I'm gonna go with the Georgia defensive tackle.
Yeah, now we go down. Got the Ravens on the clock here. I think this is where D'Angelo Pons goes. The Ravens looking to stack up, always have a good defense, but this will be a spot to where they can really solidify the defensive quarterback position there, and he's a good one.
So I mentioned earlier that I would have liked to have had C.J. Allen for Tampa Bay here. Jacob Rodriguez is a great backup plan. I'm going linebacker Jacob Rodriguez.
Yeah, Jacob Rodriguez is elite. I was hoping he was going to stick around here for this pick because that's who I would have had Colts taken, but we're gonna have the Colts taking Mason Thomas here. Sadly, a guy. I mean, I don't want to have the Titans play him 2 times a year, especially with a weak offensive line. But that's what I think the Colts will take.
With the Falcons on the clock, I think they would like to go receiver here. I don't really know. Chris Brazell.
Yeah, he'd be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chris Brazell there.
As we come back to the Vikings, let's give a peek here at the running back position real quick.
You got Jadarian Price, Mike Washington.
Jadarian Price and Mike Washington. Jadarian Price, being really good, right behind Jeremiah Love. But then Mike Washington, I think he had such a good combine that I could see a team reaching for him. I know you would like probably him to fall to the Lions at some point, whether it's that next pick or next round. But
I don't think the Lions wouldn't be the Lions probably wouldn't go running back here. It would be fun to see, but
it would be fun. Yeah, just could you imagine Swift and him together? That'd be really fun. But I think Jadarian Price here would be a good pick for the Vikings. They have older, running backs.
Yeah,
and
I have to agree.
Yeah, and then to look here and see, okay, there's not a ton of great options outside of really those Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, and
so the Lions need a lot. Honestly, it's a team that's as talented as they are. They've missed in a lot of different drafts. I They definitely need. I mean, we went offensive line earlier, so they're probably going to do that again. And they need pass rush. There's a guy that I think that they're looking at. It's the Michigan guy, Derek Moore. He's
Mm,
stay local type of guy. I think he kind of fits what they're looking for. I'm gonna go Derek Moore for the Lions. A little bit of an off the wall pick there, but
mm.
a lot of things will change between now and then. They're looking at him. Stay close to home. I'll go Derek Moore.
Yeah, nice. Who we got left? The Panthers here next up. Let's see who they picked before, just real quick.
Keldrick
They
Fall.
they've had one pick so far later in the draft. They got an edge at first. So let's look at the receivers. Since they did go defense,
I don't
okay,
think they need receiver. It says
man,
receiver,
yeah,
but
yeah. Well, I could see them. If this was the third round, Elijah Surratt maybe or somebody, but I don't know if they'll go receiver this early. But I do think they'll go ahead and get on the defensive guy. So Chris Johnson, cornerback there would be a good pick, or Keith Abney, um, another pick. Like just kind of going through different options for draft wise, especially for the Titans. Keith Abney's the name that's kind of come up a couple of times as maybe a pick for them. So I could go with him there.
with the Packers, man, they went Micah Parsons before. They don't, man. I think they'll go with this Gabe Basantis guy from Texas A&M.
Nice.
They need the guard help. They need offensive line, but they're losing some linemen to free agency. Just contract situations coming up.
Yeah.
Sure some things up for them.
Yeah, I think here with the Steelers, like look at the quarterback room there. There's no future. So then you look at where the Steelers want to pick quarterback
This
wise.
is Taylor Green team.
I don't know if maybe later in the draft, obviously not second round, but maybe later in the draft, Taylor Green, would they take a risk on him? Obviously he had an incredible combine, but when the team looks at the film, they look at the decision making. Would they take Taylor Green there? But then you look at, would you take Nussmeier? Where he is in the second round here, would they do that? So I was kind of wanting to hear your thoughts. Do you think the Steelers are going to take a quarterback this early in the
Nussmeier
draft?
wouldn't be the craziest thing. Mike McCarthy, he spent a lot of time in the Dallas area, so he's near Baton Rouge, so he has this. He has the potential. A lot of these guys. I mean, you talk about potential for Taylor Green, but you have potential here. Carson Beck, you have potential here. Drew
Yeah.
Aller, Garrett Nussmeier. There's a lot of guys here that are unproven. They didn't have the best ends of their college careers.
Yep.
Caleb Lubnick is another one that's got potential. I mean, it's a lot of potential here. I feel like it's too early for the potential quarterback though.
Yeah.
But
Would they
I'd be
take him that early?
surprised.
That's my only concern. Like with taking him the second round there, was I think that would be too early to pick. I don't think anybody else is going to take him. So then I think you start to look at what else the Steelers need, and they have some other needs. They could go offensive line. They could even kind of fill in a little bit on defense. But I do think that they're going to go with the offensive line here. Yeah, so I think they'll that Jennings.
They got to guard with their first pick.
Yeah, they do. Let's go Caleb Tiernan then on a tackle. But Jennings Dunker is another great pick. I mean, that just looking at like the Titans, the Titans could use them. I would love for them to get a pick Jennings Dunkers too.
So the Eagles are always picking, best player available. Keontae Scott is really good, but I'm gonna go AJ Holosi here. Super talented safety out of LSU.
Yep.
You mentioned Nussmeier earlier, and I've had him thinking about this pick here for the Eagles.
Yeah, with the Chargers, they took we have them at tackle first. I think they'll go defense here, and I could see them going more of kind of a D tackle or some more insights, like a Lee Hunter type of pick here. Maybe they would extend out and go Malachi Lawrence, but I think Hunter would be a good pick for them.
Yeah, he's fallen too far. Jacksonville's on the clock. That is going to be their first pick. So you just need to think about what does Jacksonville really need.
Yeah.
I'm leaning pass rush. I think they go local. They go Malachi Lawrence, uh,
Yeah.
defensive end from UCF.
Yeah. Then you look at the Bears. They took inside of
Caden
the D
McDonald.
line
Yeah,
there. And there's not a lot of centers that you would take to kind of come in and they did get a center, but it wasn't anybody that was great. So and then they could still go edge and a guy like Jacob Jacos there, Jackus, whatever you say his name there. So let's pick him there to go to the Bears. They could use an edge rusher. They need somebody to start rushing. They had one of the worst pass rushers last season.
yeah. So the Bears doubled up on the defensive line, but I could see it for sure.
Yeah,
The Niners took a receiver the first round. I think they need offensive line help, potentially a Trent Williams replacement. I'm gonna go Jennings Dunker.
yeah, that's a good pick. So yeah, you come to the Texans,
They're just a
and
team that feels like they don't need a lot.
yeah, they could go kind of anywhere. It would be nice to see them maybe take like Skylar Bitter, wide receiver. Uh,
I just don't know if they need it. They got Nico Collins,
yeah,
Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. They went receiver early last year. I don't think they go receiver
they
here.
they may not. I don't know. It's tough to tell with them because they're a team that they've got a good defensive line. They have a pretty good defense. Um, I mean, running back wise, I don't. I mean, maybe they take Mike Washington. I don't know if it's early. They could use a running back. That'd probably be the biggest need offensively.
I mean, they went David Montgomery. They paid him a little bit.
They paid him. Yeah,
They
so I
have
don't know if they're going to take him there.
Woody Marks.
Yeah. They have a there's not I mean at this point of the draft with some of the guards and tackles gone, there's not a good offensive line option for them to take here at this
Mm,
pick. So it's hard. This is a tough pick for the Texans here. But we could just say, okay, they're gonna go best available, and they would just roll with it, uh, and taking like a secondary kind of guy in Christian. But they have a good secondary.
Yeah, I think they'd go offensive line here. Honestly, I mean, it's not like reaching. I mean, no one really knows.
Yeah, you take
Um,
like Kalen Rutledge. He would be a good kind of for the
yeah,
Titans. I had him going to more of the third round type of guy, but he's a guy that could go there to them.
with the Bears on the clock, they've gone defensive line, defensive line. This was a pick that I had been taking Romello Heights here,
Hmm.
but they obviously don't need it now. What do they need? I could see them going secondary. I'm gonna go Keontae Scott. I like him.
And the Bears are a team too that I could see. Maybe they go after a wide receiver at some point in the draft as well.
Yeah, especially with DJ Moore leaving. I just feel like the receiving class is pretty deep for what it is, honestly. I mean, you look here,
Yeah,
Skylar Bell, Antonio Williams, he's a big body guy. I don't know
that
if they
Bryce Lance is pretty good too.
Elijah Surratt. I mean, I wouldn't be
That's really
surprised
good.
there. Honestly, I could see Elijah Surratt here at this pick. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's what they go there, but I don't know. What are you
yeah,
thinking
they're
here?
another team that like would they go? Stafford's getting older. Would they pick a quarterback at this point? I don't know if they're going to take a quarterback here. Um,
That's not a bad idea, really.
yeah, if they did, I mean that's where I think would be who they would take. If they did choose to go. But I could see a guy like Carson Beck fitting in real good out there in LA too.
He does seem to be that type of guy.
So
That's
let's have some fun. Let's say they pick Carson
Carson
Beck
Beck.
here. Yeah, let's go. Let's say that he's going to go to the Rams.
Okay. The Broncos are on the clock.
Mm.
They're a team.
Just
Could they go?
paid heavy for a receiver.
Yeah. Could they go tight end? It's really not one there. Max Clare's not awful. I don't know if it's type of guy they want.
Yeah, and the Broncos getting rid of a couple of their linebackers.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a pick like where they go kind of defense more
Let's go
as
Josiah
well.
Trotter.
Because the Broncos lost good interior defensive lineman, and then they also lost a good linebacker too.
I'm gonna keep the Walmart connection here. I'm gonna go
Yep.
Josiah Trotter.
There you go. Yeah, the Patriots on the clock, and they could use a little bit of O line help, but then again, I don't know if they're going to take that at this pick. Defensively, maybe they would go. Danny Dennis Sutton is a good edge,
But
uh,
we wouldn't go two
but
edges.
we would go. Yeah, we wouldn't go two edges there. So I don't think that they would do that. They don't really need any help at cornerback. They got some really good cornerbacks. They have a pretty good defense as well. Let's say they don't get AJ Brown. Do you think they would pick a wide receiver here?
Man, yeah. Honestly, with releasing Diggs, if they didn't get AJ Brown, Elijah Surratt would probably be the guy.
He'd be a good pick, I think, for them. A guy that, I mean, how much? Like I know it's a second round pick, but how much are you really risking on Elijah Surratt? I don't feel like his floor is terrible. Like
Yeah,
he's going to come in and at least be pretty good.
yeah, I agree. I feel like if we have anything falling up here, Bryce Lance, he is falling.
He's really good as
They
well
got
for him.
what he got. They need more of like the possession guy. I think.
Yeah, he's good, and Elijah Surratt really was pretty healthy. I mean, for Indiana for all season, experienced. I mean, he's a really good player. So I think they would take him.
So Seattle's on the clock to round out our mock draft. I
Yep.
think they would go running back here. The question is, do they stay local and do they get the guy from across town,
Yep.
or do they take the combine warrior? I don't know. That's the tough decision. For the sake of this show, being Razorback fans, I'm going Mike Washington.
There we go.
Mike Washington, the
That would
guy.
be a fun pick, wouldn't it?
Yeah, your Kenneth Walker replacement. I don't know. I think that was a fun little draft there, man. I enjoyed doing that. I don't know if we can see the second round. I'm not sure how to see it.
Yeah, you got to think that, like, say your Lions picked that way, would you be happy if
If
that's how it
if
turned
the
out for them?
Lions got Monroe Freeling, I'd be very happy. Second round, Derek Moore. They're talking about it. I'd probably rather have Romello Height.
Yeah,
It's one of those things to be determined on the corner, the legal charges on him. I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head. It's been a little while since we had football season, but Jacob Rodriguez, if he failed, I
he's
would be
pretty
fine
good.
with that. The
Yeah,
Lions definitely need a hit this year. They've had a couple bad drafts in a row, to be honest.
yeah. With it, just kind of closing off this thing with the Titans, my hope would be that they do have a good draft, and I would say if they're going to take Jeremiah Love, trade back. Don't take him at the 4. I just think you're spending so much money. Even a couple draft picks later, you're still spending a ton of money, but it's not quite that 12 million a year for running back. It's because you still need offensive line too. So I do have the Titans taking somebody like Ruben Bain, or I wouldn't be mad. Ruben Bain, David Bailey, either one of those guys are elite.
Well, I enjoyed this, Blaine. We'll have to hop on, I guess, next week or the week after and come up with some more episode ideas now that March Madness is finishing up. This was fun.
Yeah.
Good talking to you.